folks. It's Mr. Allison. I say good morning. I don't know what time you're watching this. Maybe good afternoon, good evening, whenever you happen to be seeing it. It's good morning for me. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for not being clean shaved. Normally, I would do better than that, but I actually woke up really early this morning. Dog started barking. Had to go out and it woke me up, and I got up, and then I just couldn't go back to sleep. So I came on in to school really early today. Thought I would go ahead and make a video in response to the things that you guys have been posting the last couple of days. So this week we were talking about online bullying, and there were several questions that you were supposed to try to give answers to. And I want to explain this again because I said this in a previous video at the beginning of the week on Monday that you were supposed to watch. It wasn't an assignment, so people might not be checking it out, but it was a material. So I may start listing my videos as assignments instead of materials, just to make sure that you get a chance to watch them. But what I want to do is just take a few minutes. I've been reading all your comments, and I appreciate it. I've been trying to post a few comments back. I loved your videos last week. A whole lot of people sent me in videos that you'd made of yourself, telling me about you. Several other people made slideshows. A lot of people made like a picture of yourself and wrote paragraphs about it. And I really, really enjoyed that. And if you did that, I sent back personal comments to everybody that did that. And some of you were just putting lines in on the comment line. That's fine. I'm just glad to get to see you again and to be able to spend a little time with you. But this online bullying is pretty serious. And so every week we're going to hit a new topic. Every topic's not going to be necessarily that serious. But this is one because you're all doing your work online now. Everybody's working from home. Or not everybody, but almost everybody's doing online. Some people, I think, may be coming in a little bit, or some people are working on some different things that don't have internet. But for those of you that have internet that are watching this, you're doing your work at home, and then you get the opportunity to maybe chat with your friends and do things, and online bullying becomes an issue. So I asked that question, and most of you answered back and gave replies to that, and I really appreciate it. The first one was, have you ever witnessed people being mean online? Some people said no, they never have. That's wonderful that you've been able to stay away from that for a long time. I'm glad. Most people, though, said, yes, I've seen it. And then I asked if you'd ever been a part of it. And almost everybody said, no, I've never done it before. That may or may not be true. I found that's kind of the case if we were even at school just talking about bullying at school, and I asked everybody, hey, have you ever seen anybody get picked on or bullied? Yeah. Have you ever done that? Oh, no. But that's really, the truth is, people do bully other people, and sometimes you're being bullied, and sometimes you might have been the bully, maybe not thinking of yourself as a bully. You don't think, well, I'm a bully, but you might have been picking on somebody or did some things to make somebody feel bad, and we got to be really careful about that. But with online bullying, there's a lot of things that can take place. Now, sometimes, there's a message board. So like, I'm a big sports fan, and I like, keeping up with some UK football or WKU or some basketball or whatever. And people get on those things and they'll say all kinds of things. Sometimes they're nice and sometimes they're mean. And if there's a presidential election coming up this fall, so, there's all kinds of political posts. Somebody's, they're going to vote for Trump, or they're going to vote for Biden. And then people write articles, and then people just get real hateful and say all kinds of things back and forth. But they don't think anybody knows who they are. They don't care. They're talking to people. That may not be the exact same as bullying, just when you're just kind of just being hateful. But when you're really picking on somebody and targeting somebody and saying things that are going to hurt their feelings, or that are going to make them feel bad, or really just to belittle them, that's really bad. I've seen some instances where like somebody will post a picture of somebody and then just make fun of them. Oh, did you see this picture? Look what she was wearing. She looks so dumb. Or, hey, look what he was doing over here. It's one thing if you and your friends are playing around and do something silly and get a video and you post it because you think it's funny and you want to laugh. It's another thing when you do things for the purpose of making fun of people and hurting people's feelings. And so I think when I'm talking about this, and I asked you, have you ever seen people be mean? Most of you said, yeah, you have. And we don't like that. And it's really one of the scary things is sometimes when you see somebody else being picked on, you might even think something that's being said is funny, but when you start thinking, well, what if that was me? What if I was the one that was getting picked on? Well, then all of a sudden it's not so funny anymore, because you wouldn't want it to be you. And if you'll think about that, well, I don't want people talking about me or picking on me, then that might be the thing that would help you to know that I don't need to be picking on them. The second question was, tell me about a situation that you witnessed online bullying. And I had several different comments. And by the way, again, I'm just going to say this: when you're commenting, if you'll post those comments, there's a Monday morning check-in and a Friday check-out. You can make those private comments to me. When you're doing the middle of the week question that you're answering, post it as a public comment so that all the other kids can see it, so that you and your friends can talk back and forth. You can click a reply directly to their comment. Everybody will still be able to see it, but you can reply to a specific comment, or you can just go back down to the bottom and make a new comment that might address some of those things. But some of the things that people have said is, like, sometimes they'll be playing a game and then somebody will get real mean with somebody else. So they'll start saying really hateful things, and it bothers you. And that there's different things that you can do. Sometimes when that happens, you'll just leave the game. And that's one thing to do. Sometimes there might be a moderator, a person that's running the game or running the program, and they'll kick other people off. They'll say, look, certain things are allowed and certain things aren't allowed. That's the truth in a lot of comment sections. Like, you can't have bad words, or you can't say things that include certain phrases or terms, and you can't just be hateful, or if you have enough negative clicks, then we're going to delete your comments, things like that. But if you're just on a message board with your friends and doing things, that's not always the case. There's not always somebody there that's going to be able to shut them down or kick them out or anything like that. But a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, I was playing a game and somebody really started being mean. Some of the games that you guys play online, you might have a live mic and you're listening to other people and you're playing a game in a group setting, but you don't even know the other people that you're playing with, but they might start really acting up, start making fun of you. Hey, you big idiot, I can't believe you did that. What's wrong with you? You're so stupid. Why would you ever do that? And then start cussing you out or whatever. I mean, that's no good. I mean, that's terrible. That's a little different than just the bullying, because it may not be anybody that you know or that you're ever going to see, so it's not going to keep rolling. But still, those kind of things are hateful. When you're playing with your friends and people start acting like that and talking bad, then it gets really bad. So I don't know, a lot of you said you've never witnessed online bullying, but several of you did. So if you see some of those kind of things, think about how it makes you feel. You know, what do you feel like when people are saying stuff like that, and what do you do? And what are some ways around it? And I'm looking down because I'm looking at the notes that I've written. The third question were, how are the effects amplified with online bullying? And that means, amplified means turned up. How is it worse? How is online bullying in some ways worse than even just getting bullied? Well, if you're getting bullied at school, you know, somebody could actually cause physical harm or physical threats and things like that, and that's bad. And there's a person that you can absolutely pinpoint, and you might be able to get somebody to help you and to stop that. And plus, if nothing else, if somebody was picking on you at school, at least, you know, 3:15 comes and you leave and you go home, and then that's over. With online bullying, there's not really an on and off. It's just there. And people can pick on you all the time, and people can say hateful things, and they can keep bringing it up, and they can put posts on you know, whatever site that you're using, whatever you happen to be, you know, whatever social media you're going through, and different things, and people can say hateful things and just be really mean, and it doesn't just stop when you leave school. Not only that, the trusted adults that you might look to at school, you might have a teacher or a principal or somebody at school that could help you and stop somebody from being a bully. But online, it's a lot harder, because when you leave here, I'm not around you anymore, your principal's not around. It doesn't mean that there's nothing that can be done. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it's a little different because you're kind of out on your own and there's nobody around, and it just doesn't stop. And that's the bad thing about online bullying, is that people can just keep on doing things around the clock, and that makes it a little bit scary and a little bit worse. And also, they can, I think this is a big one, is that sometimes the bullying that can take place online can be anonymous. When I say anonymous, I mean nobody knows who they are. That was another thing that a lot of you commented on. You said, well, people will make fake accounts, or if somebody's bothering you or picking on you, you delete them or drop them on whatever they're, so they're gone, and then they make a new account under a different name and you don't realize it, and they're back on, and then they start doing it again. Yeah, that's terrible. And people hide behind that curtain of being anonymous and not know, you know, people thinking that nobody knows who I am, so I can just say and do whatever. And that makes it a little bit worse. So the big question at the end was, you know, what do you do for help? Even though here at school, your teachers and your principals are really more in charge of the behavior that goes on at school, and I know you're not at school right now, but when we get back, some things like online bullying and things that, even though they take place at the house, like I can't come to your house and tell you, you know, what you can and can't be on, and I can't I'm not taking the role of your parents. Your mom and dad can monitor, or whoever your guardians are, monitor the things that you're seeing and doing and watching. But if there are things that are taking place online that have a direct effect on your education here at school, if there are students from this school that get involved in some of those kind of things online, even at home, but it's kind of bleeding over into the school setting and affecting your education, then your teachers and your principals can get involved. And more than just being allowed or doing it, it's the desire to help you and to make you feel better and to make you feel safer. We want to do that. I want to do that. I know that, I'm a bus driver, and sometimes things happen on the bus that I don't know about until later. And, somebody says, well, they were picking on me and this was happening. And I don't like that. I really, if I find out about it, I try to stop it and shut it down. It's hard to hear everything that goes on. And it's even harder as a teacher to find out everything that's going on out in the social media world. And, but if there's a big situation, it would be good for you to talk to your parents, to talk to a teacher, to talk to one of your principals or guidance counselors, because we might be able to work to help to stop that, to slow it down. And that's really important because everybody wants to feel safe. Everybody wants to be in a place where they don't feel like they're getting picked on all the time. And so that bullying can really be an issue. And even that was the Friday check-in. And I know it's not Friday yet. I'm not going to just give you the answer. No, the Friday check-in says, since it's anonymous, sometimes people think they're anonymous, but people can get caught. What can happen? Truly, a lot of times when somebody is being a bully or picking on somebody and they make their own fake name, part of the fun for the bully is telling other people what they're doing. And especially in middle school, man, people tell on themselves all the time. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. So somebody could be like, hey man, I got on so-and-so's account and I was doing something different and I was making fun of them and picking on. Well, that fake account that nobody knows about now, it's kind of out. And somebody finds out and they tell somebody else and then it gets back around and then we got problems. If you were here at the school last year, and I know most of you are 7th graders, so we had a big issue where we had somebody post something that was a bomb threat. And they did it thinking that nobody would know who they were. And they didn't even mean it serious at the time. I think they were trying to make a joke. That's not something you can joke about. But they didn't have their name on their post and they didn't let anybody know who they were, and they had a fake account and a fake name. But something like that, trust me, it's out there and people are going to put great efforts to find it. So it took a couple hours, but we located the individual, and I think they know that they made a mistake, and they try to make things right, do the best they can, but it came with some consequences. And so one of the questions here is, what if you do something anonymously and you think you're going to get away with it? What happens later? Well, it doesn't. It doesn't always stay anonymous. Nothing stays quiet forever, and so people find out, and then you're in big trouble, and it can really have a snowball effect. So I guess if I was going to give you a very specific lesson to start with, one, don't be a bully. If somebody upsets you and you want to have a conversation about it, or you want to talk about it, you can talk to them about it face to face or online, but don't get into a shouting match and don't get hateful and don't get into this thing where you're just picking on, that old, if you watch Bambi, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So just somebody posts something and you want to say something. If you don't have anything good to say, just leave it alone. It's not worth doing something that you shouldn't. Furthermore, if you're the target of online bullying, I'll say this, and this is easier said than done, but sometimes you just need to remove yourself from the situation. And truly, bullies do enjoy the response. They like to watch you get mad. They like to see you throw a fit. And sometimes, and people wrote that, that somebody was saying this and that, and I just dropped them from the game, or I just left the game, or I just, ignored them and they kind of quit. That's true. You can't always ignore a bully. Let me say that, because sometimes they're just going to keep coming. But sometimes by not fueling the fire and just kind of like somebody says something dumb, instead of getting a shouting match back and forth with them, you're just like, whatever, I don't, that's not true and I don't want to hear it. And you just go on and move. Sometimes you can just get out of the situation. And sometimes that helps. But sometimes you need to ask for some help. Sometimes you need to go to somebody and say, hey, look, some people are really saying some mean things to me online. And, I know that it's so-and-so, or I know this one's doing that. And then somebody can come in and address it and let people know, look, this is no good and we want to help you and we want to stop this. So there's all kinds of options. I know I'm kind of running on and on. This video is already 15 minutes long, but just do your best. Don't be a bully, And if you're being picked on, ask for some help. All right, guys.